I can't believe I'm actually going to be talking about this, but I need a little bit of inspiration. Ah. Anyways, it's early for me at least, and I just came back from Mexico, as you guys know, and I had the pleasure to had a lot of free time over there. Time that I used to spend with family, eating delicious food, and watching some anime. Some of that anime was absolutely great, and some was absolute dog shit. Now it's interesting, but a lot of people have said over the years that every time I watch anime, it's like fantastic. There's no bad anime. Now, and I'm here to say, yeah, there is. And I'm not saying that all the bad anime are specifically located in one vicinity. But it just so happens that some of the worst anime I've seen comes from one place, and that place is Netflix. Now, here's the thing: Netflix may be. Oh my fucking god! What am I doing? Netflix may be whatever you want them to be, but they do have some good anime selection and good anime originals. One of them being Kami Can Communicate. 100%. Really good. Not gonna take that away from them. But there's two particular anime. There's two that had made me question my sanity and sleep profoundly, even if I suffer from insomnia. So, what are the two anime in question? Uh, and this is the frustrating part. They have amazing concepts. The premise of this show is as good as getting a lap dance in a maid cafe. Like the premise are freaking fantastic, but they're not being utilized. So once you're getting the lap dance in the maid cafe, you realize he's a dude and has a bigger dick than yours. That's kind of the result of watching this anime. The one of the anime in question, and I'm gonna be talking about two, so you don't waste your time watching them because I did and I regret it. Is this one, the Backstreet Girls? The Backstreet Girls is this anime about um four or three yakuza members. I don't even remember anymore. But they kind of fuck up. They kind of fuck up with their with the yakuza leader. So he sends them to Thailand to become idols, to get an operation to become girls and um, become idols, so they're useful and actually earn money that way to the yakuza. And I'm telling you, that premise in itself is fucking brilliant. Whoever came up with that shit. The problem is that you enter this system of like poorly done animation. And I'm not one to complain about animation, but holy fuck, this is like really bad animation. To where it has a very interesting style, but as you can see, most of it is just absolutely static. There's just like camera movement on still images. I think they use only like 10 images throughout an entire episode, and it was just camera movements and barely like the mouth, and that's it. So it seems lazy. There's only 10 episodes, and they could have done a lot with the premise. They really could have. And there's a couple of funny moments, don't get me wrong, but not enough to justify the show. And then the show drags on and it kind of loses focus on what it wants to be. And here, instead of focusing on the girls or the guys being girls and exploiting exploiting that aspect, it focuses more on being idols and them going through the idol world. And like I said, the premise enough is funny and it will make you giggle a little bit. Like for example, here there's a part where the idol, the ex man, goes to confess to his father that he is now a woman, but it happens that the father is also now a transvestite, and he used to be in the yakuza too. So there is funny moments, but none of them are really exploited. And you can see how badly drawn everything is and how static. So there's the comedy that could have been exploited to a maximum degree is just gone because they don't utilize their elements correctly. Now, this is a watch. I'm not gonna say a fun watch or a bad watch or anything. It's just a watch, but you shouldn't waste your time with it. Here is the other thing. There is a show that I think is absolutely worst in every single possible conceivable way. This show has an interesting premise and it just goes off the rails. It decides that it wants to take a drunk driver on this 18 wheeler and go through a candy shop. The name in question is Yasuke or Yasuke, a black samurai. So imagine that Netflix decides to make the story a real life story of a black slave in Japan that became a samurai. That in itself, like, you have the inclusion and representation that you're always preaching about, but also giving like the world a very interesting take on the samurai and everything. I mean, it just lends itself for a really good experience. And I am a huge fan of samurai, obviously. So the moment I heard, oh, they're gonna make a black samurai inspired by real life events, oh, that sounds amazing. It really fucking does. But no, I would rather watch uh, Interviewer Species in front of my grandmother 10 times over than watching this bullshit again because this thing is I think one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life. Not only is it boring and no character has any sort of development or any sort of likability, but also the show decides to go into the supernatural route super easy, where they have demons and robots and shit, and it just loses like every single part of credibility that this show could have had. Now again, this show is really boring. Like, it's a sin to be this boring. If you ever have insomnia, this is the thing to watch. Even the action scenes are boring for some reason. Even the action scenes, like even when they're like showing that he can fight and everything, even then, for some reason, you just don't care. The characters don't give you enough for you to care. The series doesn't give you enough for you to care. It's like the series doesn't even care itself. So, um, you see this part with the kids and everything. This is 90% of the show right there. Just him reminiscing and not doing anything. Very static, awkward animation, and a lot of supernatural elements where the show wanted or presented itself as not a supernatural anime. It presented itself as a like based on true events type of thing. So even with the supernatural elements, you would think, oh well, maybe it's good regardless. No, it's not. It's not. I I'm astounded. I'm beyond impressed to see how they could have had how they had a series with a samurai and supernatural elements and made one of the most boring shits I've ever seen. I'm really surprised. Netflix has definitely surpassed itself on that one. But yeah, so those are the two series that I wanted to talk about because in Mexico I don't really have access to Crunchyroll, and usually Netflix, all of their series are already dubbed in Spanish. So I was like, this is gonna be an easy watch. And again, Netflix has some good anime. I watched 12 episodes of Vinland Saga season 2. I binge the shit out of Komi Can Communicate, which those two are phenomenal. But Netflix also has some dog shit. I mean, it's the house of the Death Note live action, for God's sakes. So, so yeah, I just wanted to give you this. So, and it's Mappa, but it's not solely Mappa, by the way. It's like Mappa in combination with Netflix. So take that as you will. So yeah, you have a black samurai and who was a slave. Fantastic premise, boring as fuck. You have three yakuza members becoming idols, and it's not funny. Like, I don't know how Netflix did it, but just don't waste your time on them. That's it. I just wanted to let you guys know of this so you don't waste your time like I did. All right. Bye.